We all could take a look back at our lives and see all the people that truly made an impact. I mean, unbelievably memorable to the point that we are able to stand up and say, yes, I am changing. I'm going to become a better man because of you. That's what happened with today's stranger. She was the wake-up call he needed, and because of that, is a better man today. Hello there, I'm Matt Hayes, and this is episode number 27 of Meet a Stranger. Strangers come in all shapes and sizes, including as tiny little photos on our phones that we really have to squint to see. And that's how I met stranger number 27. He and I have been connected on Facebook for years, and he's always been so kind and supportive of me. But we've never actually spoken before. When he told me that he listens to the podcast, I asked if he'd like to chat, and he was all for it. We first talked about how the way we interact with our friends and others has changed since we were both younger. But it really took a different turn when I asked him what he wishes he could talk about more and why that's the case. His answer goes back to when his wife's daughter came into his life, because at that moment, everything changed for him. And because of that, he is a completely different man today. Take a listen. Is there a topic that you would love to, like a specific topic or specific point that you love to talk about with your friends, or if you're at a bar or whatever that you've caught yourself holding back from or just afraid? You would love to just open that can of worms and let it out and see where it goes.
Yeah, people with disabilities. I have a very, very soft spot for people with disabilities. My wife had a little girl who was special needs. We lost her in January of 14. And who I was before that would have spoken differently about things like that versus who I am now. I didn't have the experience of being around somebody with special needs that needed a little more help than most. And I had no idea. So it was sheer ignorance. However, when I hear people talk badly about them or this or that, I mean, it just, if that was your brother, if that was your cousin, your dad, how would you feel about somebody talking like this? We're all on the same spinning piece of dirt together. We're all here together. None of us are leaving here alive. And at the end of the game, the king and the pawn go in the same box. But I just think it's sad how there's so much class division now. I mean, my son is going to be 8 next week. He doesn't know soul any different than who they are. And I want him to keep that as long as he possibly can. If we see somebody out and they're a different color, a different gender, a different, what if it's somebody with special needs, we don't treat them any differently. And I try to reflect that onto him. That is a person. That is not what they wear. That's not the color they are. That's not the abilities they have. That is a person. I think we have lost sight that we're all human beings. We're all human beings.
I want to ask you about that moment with your daughter, and I'm so sorry that you and your family went through that. As a man, as a father who went through that, mm-hmm. How did you change from when she was born to after she passed away? How did you change, and how did that change your view on life?
I became a better human being. I met Bella when she was 6, almost 6. She severe CP, non-ambulatory, non-verbal, completely dependent upon her mother. I didn't see her as fragile. I saw her as just a little girl, and loved her. Her name was Bella. We called her Boo. Monsters Inc. was big when I met her, and I was her monster. I was her Sully. I would drop the R word, not as necessarily a negative term, but just, it was part of my vernacular. It's part of my dialogue. Oh man, that's this. Don't be R. Don't be R. Now, once I met Bella and had somebody in my life that I loved and cared about, that word became so horrid to me. I bit people's heads off for using it, and they weren't being, negative or calling me that or her that or what have you. They would just use it. And I'd say, hey, come on now. Come on. You don't know your audience. Know your audience. So it made me a better person. My sister swears that it saved my life. Was reckless and just floating through life. And when I met Bella, I had direction. I got direction, and she, being the 2 years that I was lucky enough to be part of her life, prepared me for Max, my son.
Yeah.
And so it made me a better person. I put value back into people, whereas before, all right, what can I get out of you? I'm gonna be your friend because I can get this or that kind of stuff. And that sounds horrible, and I hate saying that, but opportunistic. I'm not as opportunistic with people as I used to be, because now, again, we're all people. We're all people. I mean, I'm not kumbaya by any stretch, but we're all people. We're all here together. So Bella made me a better man, a better husband, and just a better human being. I miss her every day, every day.
I appreciate you sharing that. You said that she kind of gave you direction, and now that, you're a better man, what is that direction going forward now? Where are you seeing yourself going in life right now?
Never saw myself past 40. Never saw myself with a career. I thought, well, I'll make it. And when we lost Bella, I thought, okay, now what? I had this and it's gone. Oh God. And then we found out a few months later, we were pregnant with Max. My job and my focus became other people and not so much me. The narcissism and arrogance that I had kind of dissipated. It's not about me. It's not about me. I do things now with my wife and my son in mind more than me. I mean, I can come down here and have a cigar, and this is kind of my time. But when I get done, I go upstairs. All right, who needs their laundry done? Who needs this? Who needs this? I feel like I became a little more facilitating towards other people. It became less about me and more about you. Well, what can I do for you?
Oh man, what a story. I really just wanted to give him a hug at the end of our conversation. He had such a great reminder in there of something so simple, yet at moments hard to remember. No matter who we are, our background, our ethnicity, our beliefs, however we were raised, we're all humans. We're all the same. For as divided as we have become over the years, it's such a great reminder that when it's all said and done, we're all humans and we're all the same. Thank you to stranger number 27, and I'm going to be having a cigar in your name later this week. And thank you, dear listener, for meeting a stranger today. If you have your own story of meeting a stranger, I'd love to hear about it. You can slide into my DMs anytime on Instagram at GoMeetAStranger or at Matt Hayes. Until next time, thanks for listening to Meet a Stranger. I'm Matt Hayes. Onward. We all